What's this? Musk, see interview. I created AI. Over 500,000 hits. And that's from electric vehicle space. Or this one from CNBC. Elon Musk. I am the reason OpenAI exists. Also about 500,000 hits. And in the latest news cycle, it just keeps getting repeated again and again. Well, that sounds like bullshit to me. But that can't be. These are real journalists. They would check this sort of thing and not just air it if it was all complete bullshit. Right?
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists.
Yeah, I'm going to have to push X to doubt on that one. But let's see what the most minimal fact-checking turns up, shall we? Well, tell us how much you gave me, Elon.
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's some number on the order of $50 million. So
I see. So out of the $1 billion that they raised, you had given them 50 million, which that's 5%.
I am the reason OpenAI exists. I would be constantly urging him to be careful about the danger of AI, he was really not concerned about the danger of AI and was quite cavalier about it.
What, was he so cavalier that he suggested putting it inside a ton or so of metal and plastic and releasing it untested to the general public?
Including this one from last year. A Florida State Highway Patrol vehicle was hit by another Tesla on autopilot. A nearby officer in that crash also jumping out of the way just in time.
He was really not concerned about the danger of AI and was quite cavalier about it.
You know, in retrospect, they seem obvious, but in order to solve full self-driving properly, you have to solve real-world AI.
But Elon's just going to tell us that AI is fine as long as it's not being done for corporate greed.
So the intent was, what was the opposite? What's the opposite of Google? Would be an open source nonprofit, because Google is closed sourced for profit, and that profit motivation can be potentially dangerous. Got
it. So companies motivated by making money out of AI and throwing public safety to the wolves for it is a bad thing.
Overwhelming focus is solving full self-driving. So, yeah. And that's essential. And that's really the difference between Tesla being worth a lot of money and being worth basically zero.
Okay, but enough of the AI for corporate greed that's being run by Tesla and tested on the people. Let's go back to OpenAI for a second.
And then the final straw was Larry calling me a speciesist for being pro-human consciousness instead of machine consciousness. And I'm like, well, yes, I guess I am.
Gosh, you just gotta love the way that Elon Musk rewrites history. In reality, as was recorded by OpenAI at the time, Elon Musk will depart the OpenAI board but will continue to donate and advise the organization. As Tesla continues to become more focused on AI, this will eliminate a potential future conflict for Elon.
So, so you helped to the creation of OpenAI. You put in as much as $50 million.
More than helped. It wouldn't exist without me.
It wouldn't exist without you. So
I came up with a name.
Sorry? What?
It wouldn't exist without me.
It wouldn't exist without you. So
I came up with a name.
You serious? Yeah. Coming up with a name for something doesn't make you the inventor of it. Just like giving a new name to a 100-year-old idea doesn't make you the creator of that either.
But it would be for a fifth mode of transports. I have a name for it, which is called the Hyperloop.
The Hyperloop?
Hyperloop, yeah.
No, giving a name to something doesn't make you its creator.
Right. The name OpenAI refers to open source. I mean, I was instrumental in recruiting the key scientists and engineers, most notably Ilya Sutskever. In fact, Ilya went back and forth several times because he would say he's going to join OpenAI, then Demis would convince him not to, then I would convince him to do so, and And this went back and forth several times, and ultimately he decided to join OpenAI. And really, Ilya joining was the linchpin for OpenAI being ultimately successful.
So you're very
So a quick summary. He gave them 5% of the startup cash. Well, nothing particularly great there. After all, they got 95% of the cash from elsewhere. He claims he came up with a name. Nothing really particularly amazing there. And he claims that he convinced some guy to join the company, which I've got no idea if it's true or not, but none of these things even seem to scratch the surface of the claim.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists, and that's everyone should play to their strengths.
I'm a con-man, or maybe I'm a god, zooming around the planet in my hyperlooping pond.
Musk continues his rant about how evil it is for a for-profit company to let an untested AI loose on civilization. And when I say for-profit company, he charged $15,000 to people to use a AI on their car that may do the worst thing at the wrong time. And of course, in the event of an accident, Tesla had no responsibility. It was 100% the responsibility of the human driver.
But now, with the software update, you can actually make thousands of people drive safer. Just with the software update overnight.
Wow, that's actually
Sorry, was Musk saying something about for-profit companies putting people's lives in danger to test AI was evil or something?
Are we gonna have to cut that?
I mean, this would be like let's say you funded an organization to save the Amazon rainforest, and instead they became a lumber company and chopped down the forest and sold it for money. And you'd be therefore like, well, wait a second, that's the exact opposite of what I gave the money for.
Yeah.
Is that legal? That doesn't seem legal.
Actually, that company already exists as well. It's called SpaceX, the company that proposed replacing airplanes with rockets, which burn about 10 times as much fuel per journey, and then running them 10 times as frequently.
So you can take off from New York City or Vancouver and fly halfway across the globe. You'll be on the BFR for roughly half an hour or 40 minutes. But if you think about it, if I can do this trip in half an hour to an hour, I can do dozens of these a day, right? And yet a long-haul aircraft can only make one of those flights a day. So even if my rocket was slightly more expensive and the fuel is a little bit more expensive, I can run 10x at least what they're running in a day and really make the revenue that I need to out of that system.
I mean, this would be like let's say you funded an organization to save the Amazon rainforest, and instead they became a lumber company and chopped down the forest and sold it for money.
Gwen, come on, this is awesome, but it's crazy, right? Like, this is never going to actually happen.
Oh no, it's definitely going to happen. This is definitely going to happen.
How? Like, what?
5 years later?
Success is not what should be expected tomorrow. That would be insane.
Lessening stress on the vehicle. The call hour was icing on the cake. And there, as you saw.
That's your car. Oh, hell yeah.
Gwen, come on, this is awesome, but it's crazy, right? Like, this is never going to actually happen.
Oh no, it's definitely going to happen. This is definitely going to happen.
How? Like, what?
Well, obviously, like Elon said in 2020, that they were already building a class of floating super heavy spaceports for Mars, the Moon, and hypersonic travel around the Earth. And that the first Earth-to-Earth test flights would be in 2 to 3 years, which would be like now. And cities have just been queuing up to have giant, noisy, floating bombs.
Take your headphones off! Holy crap!
I can do dozens of these a day.
Parked just outside their city. And for passengers, it is a surprisingly popular idea to wait for 3 hours of fueling to have a mere half-hour flight that SpaceX has amazingly managed to cut down to just 4 minutes. And it's incredible just how many SpaceX fans can't wait to get on board a rocket with no emergency abort system.
3, everyone say, Tim's going to the moon.
Tim's going to the moon.
Because I'm going to the moon. Like, literally, I'm going to go to the moon. I've been chosen as one of the crew members for the Dear Moon mission.
Ah yes, the Dear Moon mission, originally scheduled to be launched in 2018. That's what, 5 years ago now? But then they decided that they weren't going to human rate the Falcon Heavy. So in 2018, when they should have been going around the moon, they said they were going to do it with the BFR, which is now called Starship. Soon as they could find some people who didn't actually mind getting onto a rocket without an emergency abort system. I mean, it's not like you're ever going to need one or anything. Now, that's dedication.
This is the future that I have been waiting for. Oh, wait, that looks like the renders. We have a lot of engines missing. Look at how many engines are shut down. Tim's going to the moon.
Because I'm literally
Still moving. Oh my gosh.
No, wait.
Oh.
Look up, look up. Oh, that looks like it's going down.
You know what? I think that was the flip.
Why?
That was a full cartwheel.
I'm personally invested in this one because I travel a lot and I do not love to travel. And I would love to get to see my customers in Riyadh leave in the morning and be back in time to make dinner.
I mean, what? What do you want from me? I said that this was utterly delusional all the way back in 2017. And the video at the time was one of my least popular videos ever.
Please listen. Please listen.
No, your eyes don't deceive you. Calling bullshit got a 30% approval rating.
Joe stated his case logically and passionately, but his perceived effeminate voice only drew big gales of stupid laughter.
With people saying that I just hated progress. Sorry, it was insane back then, and it's just as insane now. And people ask me why I make so many videos on Musk. This is exactly why. I mean, the Emperor has no clothes on. You only have to read the comments from this video back in 2018. So here we go. SpaceX plans to fly you across the globe in 30 minutes with Gwynne Shotwell. I understand why Elon hired her. She's absolutely fantastic. Sadly, this is the first time I've ever heard about this amazing woman. What a great addition and co-pilot she is at SpaceX for making sure the company reaches its full potential. I could not even get to my college in 1 hour, and SpaceX is promising to get us around the Earth in just 1 hour. Salute to SpaceX. What an amazing woman. I love the optimism of this company, and so it goes on. I mean, you have people laughing like idiots at the number of engines out.
Oh, wait, that looks like the renders. We have a lot of engines missing. Look at how many engines are shut
Yes, Tim,
down.
if you were on that thing, you would have died. The rocket doesn't have an emergency abort system. Anything goes wrong on the way up or on the way down, you'll simply have the world's largest and most expensive social media influencer barbecue ever. And if you believe SpaceX, that's going to be flying around the moon this year. I mean, this is some peak Kool-Aid stuff with definite overtones of Darwin Award. Sorry, I got kind of involved in that one. Where were we? Ah, yes, taking a company.
I mean, this would be like let's say you funded an organization to save the Amazon rainforest, and instead they became a lumber company and chopped down the forest and sold it for money.
Yeah, well, SpaceX was more a company that said they wanted to save the rainforests, but had aspirations of becoming a for-profit company that would cut down the rainforests. It's just they couldn't quite figure out how to do it. I'm not sure which one's worse. But when we do come back to the OpenAI, Musk very quickly gets on to why he's actually so bitter about all of this. You see, when the company was made, it had a valuation of about $1 billion. Now its valuation is some $30 billion. And Elon just seems a little bitter that he didn't get a payday out of this.
Start a company as a nonprofit and then take the IP and transfer it to a for-profit that then makes tons of money. Shouldn't everyone start? Shouldn't that be the default?
Elon continues to elaborate about artificial intelligence. I might have got the clips a little mixed up here. I think he's talking about the Tesla full self-driving here.
In order to solve full self-driving properly, you have to solve real-world AI.
When push comes to shove, let's say they do create some digital superintelligence, almost godlike intelligence. Well, who's in control?
Yeah.
And what exactly is the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft?
Yeah, I mean, Elon clearly misspoke at the end there. I think he was talking about Tesla. But it will surprise precisely no one that it took less than 2 weeks from Elon Musk to go from signing a petition for an immediate pause to evaluate the dangers of AI to founding his own AI company. And of course, it goes without saying that whilst Elon Musk was calling for this pause on AI development to evaluate the dangers.
Newly released dashcam video shows another frightening Tesla crash, this time in North Carolina. A Nash County Sheriff's Office patrol car is hit by a Tesla going nearly 70 miles per hour using the car's autopilot mode.
He didn't see fit to call a pause to Tesla's full self-driving. After all, that would get in the way of profits.
Officials tell our Raleigh affiliate WRAL the driver, a doctor, was watching a movie on his phone.
I mean, the only thing is missing now is some sort of killbot to put the AI in. What you got for us, Elon? Sorry, let's go with the original Tesla soundtrack, which honestly makes it sound more like a joke. Wow, they've gone from one geriatric robot shuffling in a straight line to 3 geriatric robots shuffling in a straight line. And just look at all the amazing detail this robot sees in the real world. But for some reason, the best progress they can show is it just shuffling in a straight line. Wow, this is such an incredible amount of progress. Let's see what else they've got. Wow, they've got motion capture. Things that things like Oculus have been doing for 10 or something years. And was actually on The Simpsons about 20 years ago.
Now, when you move any part of your body, our furry friend will copy you exactly.
And this is exactly what Tesla is trying to convince us is their remarkable progress on the Tesla bot. Yeah, might have been impressive 20 years ago? I mean, hell, it looks almost like a remake of this video.
This futuristic-looking workstation is equipped with advanced robotic arms and hands, crack eggs, you name it, they can do it. MasterChef winner Tim Anderson was hired on as Molly's development chef and helped the robotics team teach the robots how to cook by using motion capture gloves and wristbands, much like a video game.
And that video came out some 6 years ago. And now this is in the video of the best progress the Tesla bot has to show off. Wow, Tesla robotics featuring something that can pick something up. Something that's been done in robotics for like 50 years? I mean, you don't have to take a look at the chasm. The chasm between, how should we say, established robotics, where they used to do tedious, dangerous, and monotonous jobs, versus the Tesla bot. Yeah, I want to remind you, this was the Tesla bot update. This is the best they have to show. But at least we now understand why they all have holes in the tops of their heads. It's because they fall over so often that they need a basically giant clip thing to stop them from falling over. But of course, Tesla has to make this look credible by having 5 robots that can't really do anything rather than just one? Shuffling forwards on a flat, level floor with 0 obstacles and 0 evidence that they're even interacting with the environment. And not only is that probably all of the Tesla bots they have, that's probably also all of the Cybertrucks that they have. Cybertruck, of course, was meant to be made years ago. Meanwhile, in reality, it struggles to get up a curb.
I feel like they're going to drive it up on top of that. Oh, baby, get up that curb. There we go. Cybertruck off-roading. First time off-roading. Check that bad boy out. Woo!
And if you're thinking, wow, the Cybertruck can actually get up a curb on its own, I've got bad news for you.
I mean, look at that. They had to bring up that little wooden ramp over for the Cybertruck to be able to drive up there. Like, that's kind of wimpy.
Sure. Patient. I want to end on one AI question. You have a lot of kids. I have some kids. I have one who's actually soon to go into the workforce. I struggle with how to advise him about a career when this technology exists and will only improve. I'm just curious, when you think about advising your children on a career with so much that is changing, what do you tell them is going to be of value?
Well,
I'm a con man, or maybe I'm a god, zooming around the planet in my hyperloop pond.
And that's today's video, because someone's got to at least try to call this bullshit out. I mean, Musk's already set the world record for the most money lost by a person ever. And my money's on, that's just the beginning. When the chickens come home to roost on this, Elon Musk will be responsible for the biggest destruction of wealth in the history of mankind. I give it maybe 5 years. Mark your calendars.